Biden's White House, that's what we saw in the beginning, gave us topless pride politics on the South Lawn, while Trump gave us flags, flyovers, fighters, and America First energy. Take a look. This is clip 9. It was. It was, folks. I watched the whole thing. I don't know about you, Shelly, but Trump just didn't just host a fight at the White House. He turned the South Lawn into a full-blown America First Coliseum. It was extraordinary. All right, but don't take our word for it. Here's Jay Williams talking to Stephen A. Smith in clip 10.
There, 4,000 seat arena. I gotta be honest, coming off the NBA Finals, where I was at multiple NBA Finals, better event than the NBA Finals. Wow, it was a better event than the NBA Finals. But the White House literally being right there, incredible.
And it was more than 4,000 people in attendance. Let's be very clear about that.
Better event than the NBA Finals. Shelly, what are your thoughts?
Look, again, like we said the other day, I loved it. Not a UFC fan, but that's okay. I don't have to be. It looked fun. It looked Americana. It was, it was energetic. It was adrenaline. It was testosterone. I love that. It brought people together. It gave us a pause, like I like to say, in the middle of all hell breaking loose. You got a chance to just have some R&R. Enjoy the weekend. I loved it. It just looked exciting. I mean, I wish I could have been there just for that moment. Right. But I'm not poo-pooing it at all. I don't think there's anything to poo-poo. Of course, there will be people to do so. But overall, I thought it was a spectacular, just a fun event. It was a good way to kick off this 250 with a bang.
Absolutely. What a kickoff. I mean, this was just to reiterate how much of a showman President Trump is. I mean, when you talk about a celebration, okay, from the look, the feel, the sound, I mean, this thing was hitting on all 5 senses. And not only that, but it was more than just a UFC fight. As you mentioned, Shelly, this was an ode to American just exceptionalism and strength and muscle and pride. Not the pride that we saw Biden celebrating in 2024, okay, with she's with their shirts off, okay. No, we're talking about American pride, all right. And guess what else it was? And this wasn't mentioned nearly enough. We did talk about it last night on Christian Conservative. It was many people lifted up the name of God, okay. I mean, not only just lifted him up, but were witnessing to the millions of people that were watching. This is Mauricio Ruffy, who had an extraordinary fight. And this is him. I mean, and that was a running theme throughout the night. People were talking about God, talking about country, your love of this country. It was spectacular. Folks, sound off in the chat. Let us know what you thought. Did you actually see it? Did you watch the clips of the show afterwards? Let us know what you thought. Folks, this is Poppin' Politics. Remember to like, share, and subscribe as you come in. If you're tired of power-hungry commie leftists trying to strip us of our rights and tear apart our country, folks, you're in the right place because we push back against it. All right. Shelly, let's set it off. Of course, we don't Nicole. You folks don't see her. She's out sick, but she will be back on Wednesday. Shelly, yeah. Shelly, I know what else do we have here? We want to just announce before we really get into the show.
Well, I want to encourage all of you out there before we get into it to go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe right now. Okay, Nicole is out shamming, as we used to say in the military, but she's doing some slick leave, as they say. But you all are here. Go ahead and show us that you're here. Also, don't forget we have a website, www.metroconservativemedia.com. We have Discord, we have merchandise, and we will be telling you about it as we go along. Our producers, our able and capable producers, are going to put the links in the chat for you right now so you can get started while we continue this show.
Absolutely. All right. And folks, as you come in, Don't forget to hit that like button and super chat. That's the best way to get get yourself into the conversation, and it's a great way to support the channel. All right, we don't have massive sponsors and advertisers. It's you guys, you the people, you the viewers, you the patriots, just like us. Keep us online. So we appreciate each and every super chat. It goes a long way in helping us produce this content. Also, we've got merch. Check this out. What's up, everybody? This is Poppin' Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Poppin' Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch.
Get the classic shirt. Classic. Goes with everything, comes in a variety of colors. Smart, edgy, conservative, like us, like you. This is a great way to support the channel. Click the merch button.
There is no shame in being an American. Get your shirt today and be unapologetic about it. Get your shirt, wear it, and be a proud American.
You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics. Yes, indeed. And our biggest shirt right now, as we move in to America 250, is this. All right. Not black, not white, American. Don't let them divide us. And this is our from 1776 to 2026 250th anniversary shirt. Folks, it comes in this multiple colors. It comes in mugs. I mean, what a way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country and to support us. Shelly, do you love it or do you love it?
Look, I do. I love it. I'm grateful. I'm blessed to be here as an American. And I want to just piggyback on what you said about the event, the UFC event. What we often forget, I forget it sometimes. I'm sure you all do out there in our chat land. We often forget that in this social media space, we think that this is all there is to people. This is why I say, and I challenge myself, get out in real life, real time with real people, because it will just, it will make you think, you know what? I made some wrong assumptions. People all over America, they love God, they love family, they love country. By and large, yes, you're going to always have the lunatics, you're going to always have the extremists, but by and large, Americans love those three things, okay? So that's it. Get out in front of real people, touch some grass, whatever, but do it, because it will change your distortions that we get from being in this little bubble space.
Absolutely. Well, folks, again, you see it. This is a love fest for the event at the White House over the weekend. But of course, the left was not happy about this. It was not happy about how historic this was, about how many people were out enjoying the festivities this weekend. I mean, they lost their minds, folks. The left is melting down. I mean, even today, to this moment, they are melting down. And of course, they have to pick apart the event. And so they have landed on Josh Hokit. All right. So he is a UFC fighter. He won his match yesterday. And he did have some choice words after he won his match. Take a look here. This is clip 1. All right, so let's get into it because everybody is upset about this. I mean, you had blogs and people all over, black people all over the net. Now they putting up photos of Michelle Obama. Did you see it on your timeline, Shelly?
I saw some of the stuff coming through. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
people
upset. People are upset.
Yeah, people are pissed. So let's get into it. What are your thoughts on what he said, Shelly?
So I thought, of course, it was salacious. It was, conspiratorial, I guess. Nothing that we have never heard. Now, honestly, I don't think it needed to be said at that event. After all the good that happened that weekend, all the fun, I don't think it needed to be said. But one of the things I heard people talking about was President Trump made a little smirk, right? I think he probably smirked. If I could kind of just think ahead, I think he smirked because he probably was shocked that he said it too. Like, so what do you do? I mean, he said it, we can move on. Now, let's not act like the left has never said anything horrible, evil, demeaning about us. Remember, we're deplorables, okay? All these different things. Remember, don't act like that's never been said. Granted, when they said it, we get on them too. Again, I mean, you could take the win. I don't think he needed to say that, but don't act like the left is totally innocent.
Of course not. And listen, we've got these types of things that happen all the time at these types of events. Energy is high. People are just, excited about, he had just won his match. And he is one, Josh Hokit, he is also one he says these salacious things. He has been actually removed from the UFC in the past. Okay, so it's not like the UFC. He's not a golden boy of the UFC. All right. But some are actually calling for President Trump to denounce it. Take a look at this. This is clip 2.
One moment, I do think Trump has to denounce, and anybody associated with it has to denounce. And that's that crazy fighter guy. I don't even have his name up here, but he won the fight. He took the microphone and he made a derogatory comment about Michelle Obama. To me, that on the White House lawn. Now, these are UFC guys, all right? They're crazy. They're idiots. You have Sean Strickland, who's one of the craziest people of all time, to the point you can't even pay attention to what he says snuck in. But when you have that on the White House lawn, on an event you put down, I don't care what you think about the Obamas or anything. That has to be an immediate denounce. Wrong, doesn't speak for me. I have no problem with the event. I guess you run that risk because these guys are lunatics, but that was the only thing. If Trump should denounce it, he should say that was totally wrong. The event itself, listen, the troops seem to love it. All the people there seem to love it. I have no problem with it. I think you're crying over spilled milk if you are upset about the actual event. But that comment, if you're going to do it, own it and be like, that was wrong and should never happen.
All right. So, of course, that was Portnoy talking about this. He's obviously on his period right now. Shelly, what are your thoughts on this?
Look, Dave, it's not like Obama didn't call his own wife Michael, okay? It's not like, I don't care if the name is spelled wrong, whatever, your spouse's name, okay? Even if somebody spelled it wrong, 1 L, 2 L's, whatever, they missing the C, your spouse's name. So it's not like, we can't even mock that. So let's get off that little high horse. This guy, again, I don't even know who this UFC guy is, whatever. They are wild. They're in a damn cage, okay? They're battling it out. Get over it. No, I don't think President Trump has to denounce anything. I don't. He took down the monkey video, I think it was, of them, right? Okay. But again, the left has called Trump, the right, all kinds of derogatory names, okay? So again, look, if anything, let's just say it's one up. It's an even. We even. That's it. Let's call it even and move on.
Right. And come on. She knows she's not a woman. She knows she's a man. At least we hope she's a man. We know that her husband may like men. But that's neither here nor there. People say things like this all the time. I was telling somebody today, because we were talking about this, and when I was in what was it? I think it was high school. I was in high school and I had a really good friend, and people used to call us Venus and Serena Williams. All right. And I don't know if you guys remember, but it used to be back in the day, people used to say Serena Williams looked like a man. People used to say that. And so, because she was so, brolic. And so when people used to say that, I used to be so upset. I was like, oh, I look like Serena Williams, but I didn't get my panties in a bunch. It was just like, okay, whatever, and I kept it moving. But this is just another thing the left tries to really just hone in on. After all the beautiful things of the weekend, they really want to, take this and run with it. That's what I see here. So speaking of the left, we got to talk about, they actually had a counter protest, like, well, a counter event, all right, to this America 250. Folks, I mean, if you want to talk about nuts, look at this. This is Bette Midler at this event, all right. I mean, this is what they believe Americans want to see and hear.
Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. Hey there, all you fascists. Let me put you straight. When you come for the rest of us, we'll fight you at the gate.
I mean, you want to talk corny. This is unhinged. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this?
Embarrassing. I mean, this little hoedown, folksy, whatever from Woodstock era rejects. That's what they are. It's not just corny, it's embarrassing. Bette Midler, in her own right, I think she has a beautiful voice. One of my favorite movies I have literally watched this movie every year since 1989. Beaches. I watch it every year. I love it. I got the soundtrack on my phone. Okay. So this is embarrassing. It's just, it's creepy. What the young people say is cringy.
Yeah.
Cringy.
Yeah. It's very cringy. And not to be outdone. Okay. We have Robert De Niro. He was, going off at the same event. You know him. And then he's no longer Robert De Niro anymore, folks.
He's bitch.
Yeah, bitch De Niro, right?
That's it.
Bitch. what a tragic fall he has had.
The phrase "we all love our country" stuck in my throat because our country isn't so lovable right now. I hate to say it, but loving our country is starting to sound like an abused spouse saying they love their abuser. I can't love a country that's led by a racist, misogynist, xenophobic tyrant. And let me just say it. I can't love the country that's led by Donald Trump.
I mean, even let me just say this. Robert De Niro, I thought he used to be a handsome man. I did. I loved Robert De Niro in the movies. All right. Back in the day, thought he was very handsome. I thought he was an excellent actor. Now he's starting to morph into a woman. He looks like a butch woman now. All he does is whine and cry when he's on the news about President Trump. I mean, this is embarrassing. It really is. Shelley, what are your thoughts?
Remember, last year, I think it was, we had the Butch bitch Bishop. Now we have the bitch Bobby right here. We got bitch Bobby. That's what we got right now. Bitch Bobby. I can't watch any of his movies now without, it's like I got to get a box of Kleenex because it's so sad. It's pathetic. When I used to see him in Ronin, I mean, he just made you, in the movie with Cuba Gooding, you just wanted to yes, that's, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Give me a box of Kleenex and make sure it's the one with the aloe in it because my nose is sensitive. I mean, I would be careful, Butch and bitch. I can't even get them straight myself. I'd be careful about talking about something stuck in your throat. I mean, we just were talking about Michelle or Michael. Did the two go together? I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's a sad, sad fall. Wow. It's like, and again, we said this before on the show, TDS is real. I mean, it is real and people have a horrible case of it. I mean, these people are so obsessed with President Trump. When he's here, I watched the whole UFC event. He's having a good time. He and Melania stayed the whole time. She's sitting there looking beautiful. It was humid. You could tell it was humid out. Her hair was getting, bigger and bigger as the night went on, but she still looked very pretty. And she's out there right in front of the cage watching it when we have, a lot of leftist men, these soy boys who are cringing at the thought of MMA, of UFC, but it's really sad. It's annoying. I wish these people would get a life and just go away. I really do. Folks in the chat, sound off. Let us know what you think. Do you feel the same way? Or maybe we're overreacting. Do you think, are you in agreement with Robert De Niro? Let us know. Super chat. We'll read every super chat that comes in, and we certainly appreciate the support. All right. Don't forget, folks, as you come in, hit that like button. We have almost 300 people watching. We want to get the likes up. That tells YouTube to push out our video. It's free. So go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We want to grow this channel to 250,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We could get 220 by the end of the week. We'd be so happy, so happy. So make sure you share this. And after this broadcast, hype the video. That also tells YouTube to push us out to a wider audience. All right. So again, I mean, this is such a bad look for the left, the way they are reacting to this UFC America 250. And they're losing the male vote because of it. We wonder why President Trump was able to garner so many men in his last election. And it's because of stuff like this. Men are so tired of being shamed for being masculine, for liking to do masculine things. And guess of all people who are also talking about this is Harvey Levin. Is it Harvey Levin or Harvey Levine? I think his last name is Levin.
Levin, yeah.
Oh, Levine.
Levin,
okay.
Levin, I think it is.
Okay, yes. He is the founder and owner of TMZ. And he had a very interesting take on the left. And he was slamming them about their reaction to this A250 UFC event. Take a look here. All right.
Donald Trump. But before I do, I want to say something about the UFC fights last night at the White House. The people who are complaining that this is beneath the dignity of the White House are such elitists. It's just shocking to me that every president has held events at the White House. There have been presidents who loved plays, and people have put plays on at the White House. There has been opera at the White House. There have been great singers at the White House. And the reality is, fighting is part of American culture, like it or not. Millions and millions of people like it. And Donald Trump gave them access to the White House last night with an event that aligns with what goes on in American culture. UFC is huge in America right now, and people loved it. A lot of people didn't, but a lot of people did. And the idea of saying this is beneath the dignity of the White House, I think just speaks to how out of touch people are, thinking that, yeah, we can hold events at the White House that are culturally things that I sign off on, but not things I don't. That is intolerant. What happened at the White House last night was fine. Okay, that said, I have been away for a week.
So what are your thoughts there, Shelley? Now, full disclosure, I'm not a fan of this guy. Again, he is the owner of TMZ, but I thought it was important to show this because he's a leftist. All right. He's on the left. He's part of the celebrity culture. And even he is calling out the left. What are your thoughts, Shelley?
Yeah. Look, as I said, number one, I'm not a fan of it, but I enjoyed it. I wanted the event to go on. I thought it would be fun. Again, it's a broad group of people that UFC represents across the country. That's number one. Number two, with him saying that, again, goes back. Sometimes people will shock us, even though they may be mostly one way or the other. They might shock us. What do they say? A broken clock is right twice a day, right? So I actually think he gave a fair, representation or analysis of the UFC. And other things he talked about in this clip. So again, I'm not poo-pooing him either. I think he's right. The White House has many events. We said this last week. It's not only for, you want to be dressed in cocktail dresses or things like that. Those events take place, yes. But this was really open for America, for regular Americans. Yes, you had to buy tickets, or I think they gave some tickets away in the lottery, things like that. But this is what it represents. UFC market is huge. Why not?
Yeah. And he goes on to make another good point. Take a look.
And I came back over the weekend and I was watching all these political pundits who were saying that Donald Trump is doing and not doing things that are going to cost Republicans in the midterms dearly, especially when it comes to the cost of living. And they think the White House has made a gigantic miscalculation. I think Donald Trump is exactly on the course he wants, to create what he believes will be a legacy that has absolutely nothing to do with the cost of living. It is a legacy about power and strength.
Hey.
So, before I continue, it is a fair question. Why does anybody give a crap about what this TMZ guy thinks about all of this? Well, that is what's so great about free speech. I get to say it, and you can drag me or tune me out, or maybe even agree with some of it. Donald Trump has never been conventionally presidential. He is a builder by training with an ego the size of the Trump Tower. He reveled in having his name plastered on just about every building he ever built. I will tell you a story that I know this.
All right. So, I mean, I have no issue with anything he said so far. What are your thoughts there, Shelley?
Well, number one, he sounds like me, because I've said many times, Donald Trump is the person you should never give a crayon to. When we were little, you should not. He would not, because he wants his name written everywhere. We already knew that. Said that. Donald Trump loves to see. He's a builder. We talked about that on here. He wants to build things, big things, like he says, huge. Okay. He loves his name. This is not even a criticism. This is just an observation, an assessment, an analysis. I'm not criticizing. This is what I've seen and learned over the years too. Don't give Donald Trump the crayon or the smart what is the pen called, the colored pen. Don't give it to a Sharpie.
Yeah, I agree. I have no issue with this. I really don't. When I watched this the show last night, in the beginning, they showed President Trump and I always forget his name. The UFC owner,
Dana.
Dana.
Is it White?
White. Dana White. Yes, thank you. They were walking out, and it was almost like a movie. And as you can see, they're walking out outside of the Oval Office, down this long corridor where on the walls they have all the presidents from the past. There are portraits on the walls, and Trump is slightly in the front, and he's walking. 80-year-old man walking like a 40-year-old, like a mid. I mean, he didn't look like he was 80 at all. And it's just so much power and pride and just strength in this. And then they get to the balcony, and he looks over at everybody. And this is when the airplanes come over with their roaring engines. It was wonderful. I loved it. And I thought about it, was like, wow, just think of people watching this who are outside of America, non-Americans, and looking at this display of Americana, of just strength. I hadn't seen anything like this, at least in my generation. I can't recall seeing anything such with so much bravado. What about you, Shelley? What did you think? What do you think?
Oh, I love that. I love that visual with them walking down the kind of the red carpet. The closest thing I could think of it is after 9/11, when President Bush stood on the wreckage of New York City, the tower debris. And he stood there and he had the bullhorn and he gave that message. That's one of the closest things I can see. I can compare this to. But look, this is just Donald Trump. People don't get all on the tizzy. Harvey, whatever his name is, Levin, he's not criticizing, he's giving an analysis just like we do here. You may not agree with it, you may think no, but this is who Donald Trump is. Like him or not, some things we do disagree with him on. I do, maybe on some of the policies, but I'm very aware of who he is, and he does exude strength. He loves our country. Never get me to say anything differently like that. He loves our country, and he wants our country to be taken seriously, to be respected, and to be acknowledged for the strength that we are. He acknowledges, he knows that we've sacrificed to get here to 250 years. He honors that. And I think, and he loves our military. Okay. He loves our military. So again, if you go along further in that clip, I think watch the whole thing. If we don't play it here, watch the whole thing. When Harvey talks about the way he puts it, Donald Trump doesn't care. And he's talking about in the political framework, I guess his point is to make a legacy for America. And I said the same thing on April the 13th on this show. I used those exact words. I said Donald Trump doesn't care. People thought I was saying something different. No, I was just saying this is not where he is. He doesn't really care. The elections, not that he is anti-election, but he has a more his agenda is ultimately to put America at the top for the world to see, ultimately.
Yeah, I agree there. And maybe I misunderstood you, but I wouldn't say he does not care. I think he, like you mentioned, he has an agenda. That agenda, I believe, is legacy. I believe it is seeing America thrive and prosper, setting us up in a position where after he leaves office, there's long lasting change and he can say, I did that. So when people say he doesn't care, I think I can agree. He does not care what people think. He does not care what people believe at the moment, what he's doing. But I think in the long run, he does care. I think he cares.
Yeah. I think he cares about our country. You're right. But I like the way Harvey put it, but in the context of he does care about our country. I don't think anybody should ever dispute that. I think again, he's prioritizing, and where I think sometimes with the regular public, the lay public, he's going like this so much. And again, some of his policies I will criticize, and I have criticized, and I probably will stand on that. But I still have never taken anything from him. It's just that sometimes it seems so chaotic, right? Ultimately, he does want the best for our country. I will believe that, always believe that. So,
all right.
We have some super
sound off. Let us know what you think. Absolutely.
We have some super chats here. Thank you for your super chats. We have Kung Fu CJ. Thank you for stopping in tonight. He says, love him or hate him, Trump will share with all. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Kung Fu again. Okay. Love him or hate him again. Okay. Trump will share with all. Okay. Thank you for that. Maria, thank you for your $10, Maria. Evening, ladies. You guys are spot on. I have no desire to watch their movies anymore. Beaches was a great movie. All these celebrities need group therapy. Oh, Lord. The thing is, Maria, they're going to go to therapists just like them. So,
I know. Therapy has been therapy has been taken over and distorted and everything.
Yes. Scrapping Beauty. Hi. Thank you for being one of our mods out there too. Trump is a man of fortitude, like my dad. Real masculinity, deserved trust. Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And you're right, KJ. Many of us in our country, by and large, we certainly haven't seen that. I say since Bush, and maybe the older generation might say the generals that fought, during World War II, right? I also want to give a shout out to, pay respect to the late great Norman Schwarzkopf and General Colin Powell during Desert Storm. Those were caricatures, if you will, or visuals, people who exuded strength about America. If you look at some of the old footage with them two walking in their fatigues and their camouflage, they were just commanding, and they kind of just commanded the room, tall like Trump. But those are the kind of people we don't see many today.
Yeah. Well, folks, again, sound off in the chat. Again, your super chats go a long way in keeping us online, and we certainly appreciate the support. All right. If you haven't gotten enough, we still got more coming, folks, but wanted to let you know we have other shows on the Metro Conservative Media Network to watch. All right. So, again, this is Monday. Also on, what do we have? we'll be back on Wednesday, of course, Wednesday night. And then Thursdays, you can catch me at KJ Christian Conservative on giving you a biblical perspective on all things news and pop culture. We're on every Thursday and Sunday night. Me and Michelle was on fire last night. Boy, oh boy. If you guys missed our live show, go on back over there and watch it. The live show from last night, me and Michelle were giving you all of our takes from a biblical perspective on the UFC 250 America anniversary. Also talking about the soccer, the World Cup, and showing you all of these athletes who are lifting up the name of God, whether on the field or off the field. And we got in a lot of stuff. So definitely check us out. And then also on Thursdays, we have The Right Verdict, right, Shelly?
Yes, we do. I'm sorry, I had my mute was on. We have The Right Verdict. You have, what is it? Help me get it right. All these acronyms and standards. 3 voices, 1 standard of justice. You get KJ, Nicole, and myself on Thursdays, 10 p.m., where we dive into, we dig into some true crime cases, some high profile cases, and maybe even some lesser ones like the body cam, and maybe some other local ones as we go along. But this show is, not only is it compelling, I think, at least for us, it's a little bit of challenge, but it's a good way to challenge ourselves. It challenges us to kind of focus in on one topic or one case that we're talking about, and bring our own our perspectives, our personalities, right? We're still true to who we are, but we want to just hone in. And then we also have space where we're still learning. I like to say that space where we're still learning. So go there Thursdays, go there now, hit that like, share, and subscribe on The Right Verdict. And again, Metro Conservative Media has all of these shows listed and much more information for you to find out what's going on in the community and around the world.
Absolutely. And just another thing for The Right Verdict, folks, our next case we're talking about this week is the Charlie Kirk assassination case. We're going to start digging in. This case has been sort of on the preliminary trial course for the last week or so, but we're going to bring you all the latest and continue to follow it to its end. We want to make sure we get the right verdict on this. So you definitely got to check us out for that. And then we have Just the Guys podcast. You can catch them on Saturdays at 6:30 p.m., where they give you an all-male perspective on this stuff. So they dig into many things in culture, self-help, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check out Just the Guys podcast, 6:30 p.m. On Just the Guys podcast on YouTube. All right, so we're going to continue on. So this was a monumental weekend for all kinds of reasons, but a big one is Trump announced that the U.S.-Iran peace deal is done. Folks, this is why elections matter. All right. He announced the blockade is coming down and the Strait of Hormuz is reopening. In plain English, the oil is about to move. The global markets are breathing again, and the people who told you Trump was going to start World War III are looking real quiet tonight. All right. He didn't do it with weakness. He didn't do it with woke diplomacy. He did it with leverage, pressure, and American strength. Here's JD Vance talking about it in clip 3.
I do think it's a big moment for the United States of America, thanks, of course, to the president's leadership and the hard work of the entire team. 3 things that I think are important for the American people just to appreciate about what this deal does for all of us as Americans. Number 1, this is the immediate opening of the Straits of Hormuz and, of course, the lifting of the naval blockade that we've had on Iran along with it. The number 2 thing that it means is that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, and not just pursue a nuclear weapon, but procure or try to buy a nuclear weapon as well. That's built into this agreement. And then the third thing is, and this only happens, to be clear, if Iran delivers on their promise. And so there's an approach here where we verify and where there are real benefits so long as Iran meets their end of the obligation. But if the Iranians comply with this deal, it is going to fundamentally transform the Middle East for the next 50 years. It's going to end the war. It's going to make the Middle East more investable. It's going to mean a lot of prosperity.
All right. So, but there are critics out there saying this is just lip service. One of them is former President Barack Obama. Take a look. This is clip 12.
You spent a lot of time wrestling with the threat of a nuclear Iran. How do you think things are being handled right now there?
It is doubtful that any agreement that arises is going to be significantly different or a significant improvement from the deal that we had in the first place, and had worked for a long stretch of time before the United States pulled out of it. So I'm hopeful that bombing stops and ordinary people are no longer suffering as a consequence of the war. And then in retrospect, it's a reminder that on a lot of difficult foreign policy problems, the notion that we can just bully our way or bomb our way to solutions may sometimes seem appealing, but the fact of the matter is that taking the time to explore diplomacy and exhaust the possibilities of coming up with deals that don't solve 100% of the problem, but solve 80, 90% of the problem, while avoiding the necessity of going to war. You'd think we would have learned that lesson by now, but it seems like every so often we have to relearn that lesson again.
All right, so let's break this down because he's claiming the deal is the same deal he made. Shelley, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. It's a memorandum of understanding. We don't have the full deal or the finalized deal yet. That's number one. Number two, what I think President Obama, former President Obama, should have said was that his deal, it offered them some of their money back and other things, but he didn't focus on the stoppage of the nuclear weapons. So what one lesson is that no matter which administration it is, Iran likes to play with time, so to speak. Iran they used that as a leverage, but this time President Trump, again, as crazy as this war has been going for me, President Trump is he's working with them, going back and forth. So this memorandum is going to more so focus on them stopping or greatly reducing their uranium production. That is a key factor. From what I'm understanding, as far as this memorandum, we don't have the finalized version yet, but from what I'm understanding, that's what the strategic point is going to be.
Yeah, you're right. And again, now the actual signage of the agreement, where we are actually the public is going to see the text, is Friday, June 19th. It's set to occur in Switzerland, and we'll actually see what's in this agreement. So right now, it's almost like they're calling it a memorandum. It's almost like a ceasefire, another ceasefire. Again, the U.S. has lifted the naval blockade. The Strait of Hormuz is partially open. But what I want to definitely push back on is him saying the deal is what he already did. No, that's not right. Okay. Basically, his deal, was basically Iran, you can keep part of your nuclear program. You can keep enriching uranium at low levels. You can keep some of the centrifuges, and in exchange, we'll lift sanctions and give you access to a lot of money, which we know was the big plates of money that he sent over. Okay. That's not Trump's deal. Trump's deal, at least on paper, or at least what he's saying, is Iran, you don't get a nuclear weapon, period. All right. You don't get to harass in the Straits of Hormuz. You don't get sanctions relief up front just because you signed a paper, and you perform first, then relief comes in phases. All right. So Obama tried to manage the Iran nuclear program. Trump is saying, no, there's no nuclear program at all. Okay. And so I like to sort of just like break it down, or in layman's terms, you compare it to Obama's deal was basically telling a criminal, you can keep the tools, but promise not to use them in any way for the next couple of years. Trump is saying, hand over the tools to the criminals, open the roads, and stop threatening people, and then we'll talk about rewards. So it's a big difference there, and we got to make sure we get that out in these difference in these plans.
Yeah, and again, of course, I think we all are. We're waiting for Friday, and if I'm thinking about President Trump as we have come to at least know him, I'm thinking that the agreement is going to be much more tighter than the MOU. Okay, this is the MOU, the press release, if you will, but I'm thinking that the agreement is going to be much tighter. Obama front loaded them, if you will. Trump is going to do it from a back end. Like you said, you have to perform first and then you'll get increments along the way. That's number one. Number two, what I'm also hoping to see, which I have not heard, and I don't know if this can be a part of a ceasefire or not, but I'm hoping that there's some mechanism for the Iranian people to be able to rise up and actually take more accountability, be more involved in their country's government. I hope there's some kind of provision. I don't know how they would do it, but I'm hoping that that's there as well, so that if the Iranian people will be that sort of a checks and balances like we have here, or more so like we have here. I'm hoping to see something that will speak to that in the final agreement. Nevertheless, Iran is going to open up the Straits or Hormuz. The oil went down today significantly. I think between like $81 and $83, depending on which market, the WTC or the I forget what it's called, the Brent crude oil.
Yeah, we have it here.
Yeah, it's gone down significantly, which is excellent. Okay, again, America first. So I'm hoping that the finalized version is much cleaner, much tighter, and they have more. You do this, more checks and balances, if you will. You do this, you get this. If you don't do this, then this will happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of the oil, yes, the oil prices have already started to plummet. Take a look here. This is clip 4.
Iran already causing oil prices to plummet to its lowest level since early March. Fox Business anchor David Asman joins us now to break it down. David, I know the market loves it so far. When are we going to feel the benefit at the pump?
Well, I think we're already feeling it. I know that in a lot of places in the country, it's still over $4 a gallon. I was just up in Cape Cod last week. It's down to $3.97 at the end of the week. So I think since oil has come down so dramatically over the weekend, it's down about 5 to 10%. It's hitting those same levels. Remember, 2 months ago, we thought we had a deal to open the Strait, and immediately oil went from like 95 down to 80 and into the 70s, into the high 70s. It's looking to do exactly the same thing that it did 2 months ago, except this time looks like we have a solid deal. So once If the paper is signed on Friday, God willing, we're going to see this thing stick, and you're going to see it really come down dramatically at gas. Gas prices always follow oil prices, though, by several days, if not a week. So it's not going to happen immediately as quickly as oil has come down. But already over the weekend, diesel, truck drivers will be happy to know that they're paying about 5% less for diesel.
Wow. All right, folks. Well, everybody's happy about this, except for the Democrats. Okay. Take a look at Hakeem Jeffries getting ripped. I mean, he is getting plunged on this talk show. This is clip 5.
The gas prices were this high under Obama too. So
well, listen, no, I mean,
and Biden.
Well, I'm not
right. President Biden, didn't we have gas prices at over $5?
No, well, there were gas prices in the immediate aftermath of
and I remember eggs were like $12 a dozen.
First of all, he looked so goofy in that hat. It was way too big for his head. He looked like a little kid. All right. He looked goofy, and his answers were goofy as well. What are your thoughts here? She was right.
Yeah, she was right. I was
Obama and Biden.
Remember, like you said, eggs, commodities, things like that. So look, again, the left, and Hakeem is a leftist. He's not a liberal, he's a leftist. Anything that happens that's positive for the Trump administration, they're going to find a reason to poo-poo it. Look, when Americans have to spend less on their basic daily needs, that's a good thing. You should be, whether you're Democrat or Republican, that should be a good thing if you are actually American first. To see, it wouldn't matter what your party is, but this is a political point for him. He's trying to, get some little jabs or whatever, and it's not working because at the end of the day, Americans know what they have in their wallets, what they have in their bank accounts, and they know how far their money actually goes when they get to the checkout line and the cha-ching is going. They know.
Absolutely. And what she said, the anchor who was trying to fact check him, and she did a very good job. She was correct. Trump's first term, gas prices were significantly lower than Biden's on average. All right. And we have the data to check this, folks. I encourage you to go online and look this up. During Trump's first term, 2017 to 2020, annual average gas was around $2.57 per gallon. All right. It started at around $2.40, and then it peaked near $3 in 2018 into 2019. Then it crashed to $2.20 in 2020 due to COVID demand drop. All right. So Americans felt great relief at the pump during President Trump's first term. It's so much so he's in competition with his own numbers with the gas. All right. Now, during Biden, 2021 to 2024 and early 2025, annual gas was $3.40 up to $3.60 a gallon. All right. It's the highest under recent presidents, which it was. Okay. It stayed elevated most of his term. It was often around $3.50 to $4.50 we paid, okay, for most of the time. So Trump's first term was cheaper, okay? It was roughly a $1 a gallon lower than on average under Biden's term, all right? So we got to start getting this out, folks. We got to start getting the facts out. Crude oil supply and demand, it basically, the president doesn't have a whole lot of control over the gas prices. All right. It's really the wars, OPEC, stuff like that. Refining and things and taxes. All right. But policy does matter. Okay. Trump in his first term unleashed the drill baby drill. Remember that? He was talking about drill baby drill. And that gave us record production and energy dominance. That caused the lower prices. All right. And then Biden, he was pushing the regulations. So that caused hostility to fossil fuels. And what's that mean? Pain at the pump. So we know this is what's going on, and we got to make sure we understand this and are able to articulate it. And I tried my best. We both did, Shelly and I, as to what's going on, because this is what Trump is in. He's actually in competition with his own numbers. So sound off in the chat and let us know what you all think. I think we have some supers, right, Shelly?
Yes, we do. We have some supers right here. All right, we have Sonia. Thank you, Sonia, for your $5. The boxer was trying to play the dozens, quote unquote, as FBAs did during slavery, and later turned into billions, forming verbal battle to rap. Okay, Sonia. All right. Bernie, thank you, Bernie, for your $20. KJ, beta males usually wear attire way too big.
Oh, that's a good point.
Wouldn't be surprised if Jeffries wears his jeans halfway down south.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and he probably has his underwear too tight. I'm too loose.
Look, he might. Look, everybody else out there with that image in your mind, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe, and go to our website. Also, again, don't forget, we have merchandise. Our America 250 shirt is selling hot. Our Unapologetically American, all of those American themes. Go onto our website, pick your shirt, pick your mug, your t-shirt, whatever, and get your gear so that you can be ready for America 250. Because guess what? The kickoff, it has started.
Absolutely. He looked like a gump. Oh my gosh. I can't stand when a man wears a hat and it's too loose. Ugh. And then he's so small. It's just like he's so small, and he's trying to, like, the Knicks just won, and he's trying to, connect with the people with this Knicks hat, but it's just he looked like a gump. All right. So that's just my opinion, but you guys sound off. Let us know what you think. We being too hard on Hakeem Jeffries? Let us know. All right. So speaking of Obama and Hakeem Jeffries, which we call Timu Obama, folks, Obama's presidential library has been it's caught in all kinds of scandal. Okay. First, before we get into the scandal, take a look at this next clip. This is Anna Navarra saying she's celebrating A250 by watching the opening of the Obama Center in Chicago. Well, she's going to be in a rude awakening. This is clip 6.
I didn't watch 1 second of that UFC fight because to me that does not celebrate America's 250th anniversary. That does not signify America's best values. And I'll tell you, he is so obsessed with the Obamas. They live rent-free in their head. But I'm going to tell you how I'm going to celebrate the 250th anniversary. Number one, I am going to, on Thursday, is the opening of the Obama Center in Chicago. And so I'm going to be watching the live stream. I'm going to be celebrating the fact that he was the first black president elected in this country in 250 years. So you can tune in and you can watch the live stream. And the other thing I'm going to do to celebrate the birthday of America is come November, I'm going to show up and I'm going to vote out the feckless Republicans who are putting no accountability on this administration.
Isn't she supposed to be a Republican? I never hear anything conservative come out of her rotten mouth. But since you want to talk about Obama, okay, he promised to build up Chicago with this presidential center. But some black contractors say they're the ones getting screwed because he's failed to pay them for their work. Take a look. This is clip 7.
After years of waiting and millions of dollars spent, the Obama Presidential Center is set to open this week, and it might leave taxpayers on the hook. Despite the center claiming it's fully privately funded, the project's $470 million savings endowment sits at only $1 million, as construction costs reportedly ballooned from $330 million to at least $850 million. It comes as some subcontractors are claiming they haven't been paid yet for the work on the project.
So many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Contractors are already in bankruptcy. That's what they're saying, that if it wasn't the fact that they worked on this Obama project, they would not be under this type of problem.
You can file that with You Can Keep Your Doctor. The Obama Presidential Center officially opens to the public in Chicago this Friday. Those are your headlines. And I know, Rachel, you are going to be first in line to get in there and check out a book from the Obama Library.
You mean from the
Obama trash can.
From the North Korean watchtower?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Fat Navarro on there. The first thing I could do is I'm gonna go to the Obama Library and I'm gonna celebrate that. And this man is out here not paying his contractors. Shelly, what are your thoughts?
I got 3 words. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, right? I mean, this is disgusting. And let me tell you something. They're not going to get paid before this museum library opens. It opens on Friday. Once it goes into public circulation, guess who foots the bill? We the taxpayer. Give us our money back. So not only do these contractors, the subcontractors, they haven't been paid, then we're going to have to pay them because you know damn well Michelle and Barack, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They haven't even raised enough money. I think by and large, this is another grift. It's a grift, and I'm going to start using the word, it's a graft. Because when these politicians do that, they are taking from the American people. Give us our money back. That's it. Give us our money back. And I got another thing I want to ask. I don't know, why can't they just build one damn building, a Smithsonian, and put all the every president, put all the memorabilia in there and have one damn building and one big happy library? Why not?
Oh, because they need as many as they can because they got to funnel their grifting money through these monstrosities. Yeah, they are such hypocrites, and it's actually funny. It is, because they praise this man, like Ana Navarra was on there praising this man about what he does for black people, and he's the first black president, and this black president is out here grifting and screwing black contractors for their hardworking money. How about that, Ana Navarra? But this is what they do. This is the left, plain and simple. Oh my gosh. Anything they claim is going to help you is going to be a herpy. It's going to hurt you. All right. It's going to be the worst thing, and it's going to hurt you bad. It's going to hurt you bad. It's going to hurt you for a long time, generations. Okay. This is what they do. This thing was sold as a community lifting project with DEI focused contracting. All right. 50%, over 50%, I think, was supposed to be diverse vendors. And look what they did. Instead, the small contractors, the very ones that are hyped as beneficiaries, they got change orders, delays, and unpaid extras, while the foundation touts private funding, and they're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yep. Why? And on Friday, I bet you none of those subcontractors will be there, but you're going to have all the people dressed to the nines and, looking great for the camera. And then you have all these subcontractors, people that look like you and me, and I'm sure many others that do not have their money. Black Lives Matter, though. Fight the power.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. And they promised $470 million endowment. It only sits at just $1 million per tax filings, raising taxpayer risk questions on public land. All right. And history continues to show big Obama-linked projects often balloon with insiders protected and working stiffs exposed. Okay.
That sounds like Michelle.
Well, yeah. So it's terrible. It's terrible. But this is what we know. This is what they're going to do. We know it is. Folks, sound off. Let us know what you think. Do we have any super chats here? Do we get everybody?
Let's see. We have any super chats producers? Yes,
okay,
we do. We have Bernie again. Thank you, Bernie, for your $10. Navarro thinks the UFC thing was nonsense, but she and other lefties would not object to furries and queers marching outside the White House in a parade. Oh no, they love that. They love the titty tots and all that stuff, just having a ball literally on the White House lawn. That was not a problem for them. Something like this, this is beneath the dignity of the United States. Bull freaking shit. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing that would have made that UFC A250 fight, the thing at the White House better, is if they had an expedition fight with Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden getting his ass beat by somebody in the ring. I would have paid to see that ticket. To see them beat the crack out of this guy in the ring. That would have been the only thing that would have made this even better.
We got another super chatter here. Maria says the anchor woman was Rosanna Scotto. I'm originally from New York. How great it is to see the left being called out on their BS. It's truly sad to see those cackling hens believe the crap they say. Yeah, I mean, Anna, you know what, Anna reminds me, she's just like a ass sucker. You know what I mean? She just, soup coolers, all kinds. That's what she does. And it's so pathetic. I mean, it's really just pathetic. It's just it's almost like she just has no dignity about herself.
None. She just wants that check. They're using her as a token Republican because she's still sitting in the seat, cosplaying as the rhino. She's worse than a rhino, honestly. She's not even a rhino. At the table. But now they can say, we even have a Republican that's saying this and that, all this and that. And to top it all off, she's Latina, so they can also say, they got a Latina on here that's on here talking about this and talking about that. I liked her better when she was fat. At least whatever happened when she lost all that weight, and some of her brain cells fell out too. Okay. I can't stand her, and you already know I don't like the other one.
Alyssa, is it Alyssa?
Alyssa. Oh,
yeah.
the last good person they had on there was Hasselbeck.
Oh,
she was a good one. Rest of them, they could have stayed home. All right, folks. Well, we still before we go, we got to talk about the Carmelo Anthony case. Oh my gosh, this is getting so ugly. Okay. So Austin Metcalf's dad he's been doing media, and the Anthonys have been doing media since the verdict. All right. And Austin Metcalf's dad, he said all the what's the word? What's the way you do it? Everything's being exposed.
Yeah, everything. What did they say? SHIT shit's coming out hitting the fan.
Yeah, he is saying, I'm not no more Mr. Nice Guy. I am letting it all out, and he is letting it all out of me. He has been talking about them so badly, and not only that, but he's actually been sort of a little racial in there too. He's been putting a little racial stuff in there. I don't know if we can say you can blame him. And this is me coming as a Black woman. I definitely feel for him. But here on this next clip is a very heartbreaking clip. He was speaking with Nancy Grace today. Take a look.
You said to me during the trial, I was away. I couldn't get to you. And the jury was deciding on the sentence. And you said, jury is deciding punishment as we speak. I wrote back, what is your hope? I was referring to, what do you think would be a fair sentence? And what you wrote back, I will never forget it, because I was with my twins, as you know. And I wrote, what is your hope? And you wrote back that my son will walk through the door again. So it seems to me this whole time you have not been focused on him going to prison for life or him getting a death penalty. It's not been about that. You just want your son to come back through the door.
Yes, but I know the reality. And it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. Shelley, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
That was a touching moment, of course. I mean, and that's probably putting it mildly. That was a touching moment. But like you, KJ, I've been seeing and hearing all this stuff going on social media in the last week or so, I guess. And it's maddening. And I said yesterday, you know what? I'm tired. Mr. Metcalf and his family, they will be grieving for a very long time. I understand that he's angry. Does he actually believe the things he said? I don't know. But right now, I am not at the point, or even maybe I never will be, but I'm certainly not right now at the point to jump on him. Okay. I'm just not. I can't do that. He's angry right now. Maybe, maybe he's misspeaking. Maybe he might say something, apologize. I don't know, but he's angry. Also, this may upset some people. I'm not even necessarily jumping on the Anthonys right now. Okay, at least not right now. Yes, we can disagree with maybe how they're handling it. I do think they should have offered some kind of apology. I do think that, but I'm not jumping on them right now. I can understand that their focus is on their son. Again, their son is alive. He's in prison, but I can understand just as a parent, just the sheer raw emotion. That's all I'm talking about. So I'm not jumping on either one right now, good, better, or indifferent. I'm just tired. They're grieving in their own ways. Certainly the Metcalfs, even more, I guess, more for a longer period of time. But give it a little bit. It's only been about a week, everybody. Let's all just take a step back, breathe, and just let them do what they're going to do for a little while. They're grieving, and certainly again the Metcalfs more so. That's where I am right now. Like it or not, that's just where I am.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. I feel like that initially Metcalfs and the dad were trying to come together with the Anthonys at the very beginning. You know what? I mean, good Lord, he was the one who said he forgave them at the very beginning when it first happened. And he came to that infamous press conference, and they shunned him. They told him to go out, get out of here, and then it's just been downhill since. They were both under gag order, so we did see a lot of nastiness coming from the Carmelo side, from the Anthony side, throughout this whole ordeal. We didn't see all that coming from the Metcalf side. So now the gag order has been released. And now, after seeing all the nastiness, they called his sons racist and all kinds of awful, horrible, connotations and words, which there was no evidence that any of this was occurring. He can speak. It's been bottled up all this time for over a year, and he's angry.
Exactly.
I mean, his son died. So for me, I don't think it's necessarily about poo-pooing or being critical of either side. I am going to give grace to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give grace to him because he's the guy. That's the family that son was murdered. So I'm more inclined to give the grace to him over the Anthonys. Now, I think one thing hasn't been talked about enough is the parents weren't the one who killed Austin Metcalf. Okay, they were not the ones, and in my opinion, they're not handling this correctly as far as accountability. So. I just think that, but here's a recent video of what Austin Metcalf's dad. This is what he's been kind of under fire about. We have this here. Take a look here. Let me see here. And folks, sound off in the chat. Let us know what you think about this.
Life is not easy. God doesn't say that. God says there's going to be trials and tribulations. God says there's going to be people out there who will deceive you. People out there, I mean, if we want to go back Old Testament, eye for an eye, Sodom and Gomorrah, turn to stone, man lays with a man, you die. I mean, this is all your personal choices. It's none of my business. I stay in my lane. Just don't come in my lane with your.
Yeah.
I respect everyone until they disrespect me. I've been disrespected by so many people, so many times, while I've had to sit here and take it. I'm going to tell you right now, Charleston White, you think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a coward, and you raised one. Kayla, you drunk. What'd you do to that boy to make him stab somebody? My God, what kind of mother are you? Hey, Kevin Hayes, you fucking liar. Day after it happened, how many lies did you sit and type up on your keyboard, you big keyboard warrior? You a big tough man. You still live in Baton Rouge? Remember you said you'd come to Frisco, buddy? You're supposed to find me. I told you we could sit down and talk.
See, we didn't know any of this. All this is coming out. We didn't know any of this. Now he's venting about what actually was going on behind the scenes.
That's all you do.
Yeah.
Talk, Mr. Squeaky Clean. You're the only one in your family without a damn record. I guess that's something to brag about in your culture.
Scrapping Beauty said it.
People hang your hat on the.
What?
All of a sudden, the scrapping breeder, she said, hurt breeds rage. And to a degree. And see, when he first came out, and you know how I am about this, KJ, when something horrific happens, and the first thing people say, oh, I forgive them, I don't really believe that they do. And I'm not criticizing them if they don't. I think that's just like what I'm going to say, what I think everybody thinks I should say, right? Because I'm a Christian. I'm thinking that. So I think it's too soon. And then we forget, we stay there, and then we say, oh, well, now they're acting like this. No, it's called grief. It's called utter grief. And grief is a process. And many people don't really understand it. We don't know it. We don't want to believe it. We think, oh, just say you forgive and that should cover. No, it doesn't work like that. The human experience does not work like that. It doesn't work with pat phrases. People actually go through things, and you certainly will go through something like this. Unfortunately, the loss of his son, the murder of his son. So that's why I say, in as far as the Anthonys, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what he's talking to, I've heard things about the Anthonys. I've Googled some things, researched some things, and everything on social media is not true either. But you said it right. You said where I stand. His parents didn't murder Austin. The parents did not. And there was never, even though the Anthonys were nasty in the beginning, and even though he offered forgiveness, or he said he forgave them, I don't believe in this false idea, oh, they should just come together. No, that was not going to happen. They hadn't even grieved the loss of their son. They're still in shock at their son being the guilty person. How the hell you don't come together? No, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen.
I think that it could have. And let me tell you why. Tell you why. Because you and I have spoken about this stuff before. How if you have a loved one who has committed a crime, okay, and you know that they committed this crime. I actually was talking to somebody about this the other day. It was on video, and they did it. They were wrong. And you had mentioned you would turn them over. You would turn them over to the police. You would, let it happen. Now, if let's say, God forbid, something like this happened to you, okay, and the parents of the murdered this murdered person came to you and was trying to, maybe this was part of their grieving process. Would you turn them away like it was their fault?
Absolutely. In the beginning, I would. Number one, I'm not saying that absolutely, because at that particular moment, particularly early in the process, I'm not necessarily blame them. Maybe my anger, like he's doing, venting, but no, I don't want to deal with that. I have my own grief to focus on. They might have to focus on whatever they're going through. It's not my responsibility to quote unquote care for them when I've suffered the loss. No, it's not. No, and
I'm not talking no loss you've suffered.
If I'm grieving, I'm saying if I'm grieving at the hands of their loved ones,
grieving for what?
Is that what you're saying? Huh? Is that what you're saying? If I'm grieving something at the hands of their loved ones doing?
No, you're backwards.
Okay.
I'm saying that your loved one was responsible for the death of their child. So let's say you were the Anthonys. You knew your son or daughter or whomever, loved one, was wrong. And you had said in the past that if something like that happened, you would turn them over to the police.
Yeah, I would turn my loved one in if I knew they did it. Yes.
Right. So if the victim's family of your loved one came to you and was saying, I want to come together, I want to talk to you, would you do what the Anthonys did and shun them?
I might hear what they have to say, but there ain't no coming together. That's just unrealistic. What do they want me to do? No, we're not going to be kumbayaing. We're not. They might offer an apology, but I mean, what else? That's it. You're not going to see me all locked up in arms with them, right? No, it's not going to happen.
You wouldn't apologize to them.
I might apologize, but I'm not going to expect them to just come on again and all. No, I'm not going to expect that.
No, not expect them, but if they did do that, you would turn them away.
If they did do that, I would have to say, at the very least, it would be very awkward. It would be awkward for me. And let me see if I can give you maybe a close comparison. When my aunt was murdered, my grandmother and her boyfriend who murdered her then shot himself. his mother did not, she didn't want to offer anything to my grandmother. She didn't want to talk, whatever. And I was upset about that at the time. Looking back as I've gotten older, I mean, because she loved my aunt too. She did. She loved my aunt, his mother. She loved my aunt too. So and again, I don't blame her for her son murdering my aunt. He took his own life. But just as a mother now and being a little bit older, I can see a little bit maybe how it was kind of awkward. I mean, certainly awkward. That's putting it mildly. So that's the closest example I can come with.
Was her son a minor?
No, they were adults.
Okay,
they were still. So my point. The point is, when you lose a child, you lose a child. Period. I don't care how old the child is. The point is,
I'm not talking about the loss. I'm talking about the family who committed the loss.
I got that. And what I'm saying is that her family never came to my family and offered any kind of apology. But at the time, I was upset about that. As I've gotten older, I can see that it probably wasn't even realistic to expect it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I can just tell you from that experience.
Well, let's continue here.
Dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make one up. Y'all can let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night, because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did. I forgave him so I don't carry the hate and the anger. So I don't get ate up like cancer and kills you from the inside. It's like me drinking poison and hoping it kills you. It doesn't work that way. You gotta let that stuff go or it will kill you. It will eat you up inside. So when people ask me, how can you forgive him? If I didn't, I would have wound up killing him and going to prison myself. That's how stupid people, when you get irrational, because you can't make a good decision if you're emotional. Emotion and intellect do not mix. If you're emotional, you can't come up with a logical solution.
All right.
Madeline, I agree with you. I think they could have offered an apology, but I don't expect anything more than that. Like I'm hearing all this stuff on social media. That's one thing. And to Tammy, you said I'm showing my true self. Well, in the words of my other late great aunt, be yourself, because there's only one of you, and you're the only one who knows how to be you.
Yeah. Like I said before, again, I don't condone racial slurs and things, but I understand, because if I was him, oh my gosh, I would have lost my mind. Okay. I would be enraged. Every time my family would probably have to remove me from public appearances. This is how bad it would be. That my reaction would be 100 times worse than his. So the man lost a son. He saw it on video, his son being stabbed. And then on top of all that, and I think Scrapping Beauty said it, they held a press conference and made their son out to be the victim. I think that's what really is upsetting. You lost your son, and now the people who were behind it, the murder, are trying to create narratives and flip the story and make up things that are not true. So, like I said, I mean, it's not right what he said, but I understand. I do understand. That's just how I feel. So, and I'm going to give him grace. I think he deserves it.
That's what I said. That's what I said. He's angry right now.
Yeah. We have some super chatters coming in. What do we have?
The voice of reason. Thank you for your $5. Charleston White went on a tour with Carmelo's father. Then Charleston proceeded to apologize to Metcalf's father after he found out he was a clown.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, I don't know whether to believe Charleston White or not, but he claims, and he showed text messages, that he was in correspondence with Carmelo Anthony's dad, and he was helping him prior to the verdict. When the verdict came out, and something happened between he and Carmelo Anthony's father, and he now claims that he's a fraud, and all this type of stuff, and he's cut ties, and now he's come out and praised the Metcalfs.
Right.
So,
Maria, thank you for Maria, thank you for your $10. The anchor woman, I think we read this, was Rosanna Skydo. I'm from New York. How great it is. Yes, I think we saw that one. Yeah. But thank you, Maria, again for that. Yes, yeah. It's again, I give him much grace. I know he's grieving. I know he's in an anger stage right now. But I mean, again, hopefully in time, maybe the Anthony family may offer him an apology of remorse. Maybe they will again. But I'm like you. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I understand. But they didn't murder his son. Carmelo did.
Yeah, I agree there. I agree there. Like I said, to a certain extent. I mean, their son was a minor. I mean, what he didn't do it, but I guess now that I can look at it through all the context of it and just the way that they have handled it, this lack of accountability, this blaming of racism, and we've seen this time and time again. It's just like, this is the same old story. And to me, because he came out and said it too, Austin Metcalf's dad, he was saying they need to pull the other kids from the household because you're creating this. Did this somehow add to why Carmelo Anthony did this? This lack of accountability, this victimhood mentality, this is what causes a lot of our young people to lash out. Yeah, they feel like they're owed something. They feel like you can't tell me to move out of your tent, and you're white, and you're an oppressor, and I'm the victim. So you can't, and this is due to systemic racism and 500 years of racism in this racist country. So I should be able to knife you and get away with it. Right. This is the thinking sometimes these people have. They've actually said it. Some of these black people have said it, like Jasmine Crockett.
She has. And this is what I thought about this today too. In the midst of all this, came to my mind because we talked about this to a degree before. How do these young people from these middle class families, how do they come to be enamored with this hood culture, if you will? Right. So this is the question. This is a question I came up with. I don't have an answer. This is a question I came up with for myself. What if the mom and the dad, what if they did not, or they did teach him right? What if Carmelo just chose to do this on his own? Because we know people whose families are beautiful families. And guess what? When people become adults or of age, they can make choices that go against their family values. So all I'm just saying, I don't know that to be the truth. I was just asking this question. What if they did the best that they could, right? Whatever, as good as parents, quote unquote, good parents. And what if, again, Carmelo just chose to go opposite of what his family, is that even a possibility? I think that's a possibility. I'm not saying it is true one way or the other, but I'm just saying
think it's a very small possibility. But the reason why I say that is because of context now. The way that this family has handled this entire trial, the publicity, the public, all of it, from the mother and father all the way up to the grandmother we saw, says a totally different thing for me. After I'm seeing the way they're moving, we saw the grandma, we saw the Carmelo Anthony's parents, the way we're seeing them move, I see the whole racial victim accountability, lack of accountability. It doesn't jive with me as people who taught their sons to take accountability and not be a victim. That's what I see.
I think what we've seen so far, I think it would speak to that. I was just asking myself the opposite question to say, are there other possibilities on this spectrum? That's all I was saying.
Yeah. So we'll see, folks. We got a special guest coming on Wednesday. We have a gentleman by the name of, what's his name?
Andre Williams.
Andre Williams, folks, you probably know him. He was just on the PBD broadcast. All right, I'm going to show you a quick link here of him here so you can see who we have coming on Wednesday. All right, take a look here. This is who we have coming on Wednesday. Andre Williams. He was just on PBD.
As they'll do with anything. They use black people as a weapon in this country. And this weapon is very good. We've seen it. It goes back to Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks didn't have no business being on that bus today. Bitch had a husband with a car. She didn't have no business being on a bus. This was all orchestrated, but they don't want to talk about Claudette Colvin, the actual young woman that stopped and ended segregated busing in the 1950s and 1960s. They don't want to talk about her because she was dark-skinned. And she had a child at 16 years old because she was raped by a black man. The NAACP didn't want to highlight that. The NAACP, as we know, was not entirely ran and organized and for the benefit of black people, but had the image and the symbol of an organization stand up for black people.
This is what name? What was her name?
Claudette Colvin.
Rob, can you pull that up?
Yep. 15 years old. 15 years old, single mother, raped, on her way to work, and was kicked off the bus.
By a black man.
Raped by a black man, yeah. They didn't want to highlight that case. But they chose Rosa, who was mixed race, lighter skin, came from upper middle class, black and respected family. They used her as the image. No one talks about Claudette Colvin. I'm sure a lot of black people don't know who Claudette Colvin is. They know who Rosa Parks is. Rosa Parks, that was orchestrated. That was an entire event orchestrated by the NAACP, coupled and funded by many Jewish organizations.
All right. So we are having him on for Wednesday to talk about all this kind of stuff. Shelly, wow. I want to get your response, to having him on.
I'm looking forward to talking to Andre. It's going to be a really good show. If you got sensitive ears, if you want to walk on cotton balls, I suggest, you might want to stay away and watch the replay so you can fast forward it. But I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So folks, you do not want to miss our Wednesday night episode this week, 9 p.m. right here. Special guest Andre Williams is going to be on. And we already know we're talking about Shelly's favorite topic.
Nigger culture.
Yeah. All right. So we got some supers here.
Velvet Jazz. Thank you. I like that name. I understand what you were saying, Shelly. You have a good point. That gag order they had on Jeff Metcalf for 14 months was ridiculous. I think KA had some very immature, inept parents. Yeah, I also think they got some inept defense and that damn Dominique. DJ, thank you for your $10. Keep up the good work, ladies. Thank you for that support. Thank you all for your super chats. Again, before we leave, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Go to our merchandise page. Go to our website. Check out all our shows from Just the Guys to Christian Conservative to now Poppin' Politics and The Right Verdict on Thursday evenings. Late Thursday night, adult time. All the kids go to bed, Jessica.
All right, folks. Well, that does it for us tonight. Actually, as you go off tonight, make sure you hype this video. It helps YouTube to tell more people to watch this. Share this in the DM. Share this on your social media and come back Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We'll be here live with Andre Williams. He was just on the PBD podcast. And we are going to go in. You do not want to miss it. We're not as diplomatic as PBD, folks. You know us. We are smart, edgy, and conservative. We tell it like it is. And so again, if you are like that, if you are unapologetically American, you're in the right place. So that does it for us tonight. Nicole will be back on Wednesday too, so you don't want to miss it. She will be back with us on Wednesday. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night, everybody.